the man who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, Simon Davis, with It's a Fencer's Life, Lessons from the Trenches.
We're pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, because that would be, we see a lot of sliding gates coming out, especially 2.1 high, with spear top and things like that, coming out now 3 metres and then getting bolted together. G'day guys, welcome to A Fencer's Life, Lessons from the Trenches, where we delve deep into the world of fencing, gates and the ever-evolving landscape of the Australian fencing industry. Today I'm thrilled to have a distinguished guest joining us, none other than Adrian Pretzel, the visionary mind behind Ideal Fencing and Gates. Adrian's accolades speak volumes about his expertise and dedication to the excellence in the field. Not only was he the esteemed winner of the 2023 Decorative Screens and Walls, but he also clinched the title for Commercial Industrial Gates. His innovative prowess earned him the prestigious Industry Innovator Award also for the Osmade HBM Gate. Adrian's journey is a testament to his unwavering commitment to pushing boundaries and setting new standards in the industry. And as a finalist and winner in 2022 as well for both the Industry Young Achiever and Security and Gates categories, Adrian's contributions have left an indelible mark on the fencing landscape. Today we have the unique opportunity to delve into the inner workings of the Gate Task Force, a pivotal initiative shaping the future of our Australian fencing industry. Adrian, with his wealth of experience and groundbreaking achievements, is a perfect guide to navigate us through this transformative endeavour. Without further ado, let's dive into the conversation with Adrian as we unravel the insights, challenges and triumphs of the Gate Task Force and beyond. Welcome, Adrian.
Thank you. What an intro.
That's isn't it? But mate, before we get into everything that you do and the Gate Task Force, I just got to really ask you one question. And for my listeners out there, Adrian and his team at Ideal Gates and Automation Ideal Fencing and Gates and Automation have done, from what we know, the world's biggest sliding gate, 36 metres.
We don't know what all the gates are that are out there. It's a big claim to make, but what we're trying to understand is if there's anything bigger. We keep an eye on what's going on. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that happens that we don't see, but from a lot of our suppliers around the world and what we can see, it's definitely not the biggest sliding gate in the world, but for a one with a big slope, massive slope on it, and under full automation all the time, we're going to claim it until someone tells us they've got one bigger. So it's pretty big, it's pretty heavy, and it goes up and down a hill all day.
Yeah. Oh, look, mate, I'm in awe of it. Gates is one thing that for fencers, for the most part, the fencers generally like to do a really good job, and then if they suck the gate up, it's fencing just that is something that 36 metres sliding. I'm trying to get my head wrapped around why somebody needs a gate that big.
Yeah, it's hard, and we run a pretty small shop as well. Our fabrication area is only 600 square meters, so we're limited to being able to make stuff sort of at about 20, just over 20 meters in a single piece. So, and I suppose we're also limited by how big we can transport. But at 36, it ended up having to be 3 pieces, but pretty highly engineered for how we join it and guide it as well. That was it was a tricky one, but we're pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, because that would be we see a lot of sliding gates coming out, especially 2.1 high with spear top and things like that, coming out now 3 metres and then getting bolted together. Which we do see quite a lot of them sort of coming out now because of that freight issue, trying to get them out on the jobs. And even I've been installing 7 metre gates and things like that are one piece, but once we go above that, then we have freight issues again. So it's you've got to get extended semi trailers, and it creates another issue. But mate, while we got you on today, the Gate Task Force. Tell us what's happening there. I wasn't aware and only found out myself at the fencing industry, the conference we had that there is an actual gate task force.
Yeah, so the Stephen Sherry was sort of heading up the fencing industry um, association, development association. There, in parallel with that, there's a skills committee that's sort of building the trade for fencing, because on a national level, we're pretty disjointed. Some states you've got to be licensed in this way, in some states you've got to be licensed in the other. What we're actually all getting taught is very different. So they're trying to build up the trade, trade training criteria. So I jumped in on that. So I'm a member of that one, and then saw a big hole for gates and what we do. And I suppose that it was very obvious for us because, being predominantly, well, we are fencers as well, but a big part of our business is making and automating gates. We find every day that there's nothing really guiding us to sort of specifications of what we should be doing. And especially once you start adding automation to that, there's a really big grey hole as to, what we're supposed to do. State by state, there's different legislations as well. And it's super disjointed. No one really knows where the responsibility is. So I had a chat with Stephen Sherry and a few other peers in sort of similar positions to what I'm in, but in other states, and said, can we put something together so we can create a code of practice for everybody? So we all are putting in something that we know is good, we know is going to work, it's safe for us, safe for the consumer, and safe for the the untrained user that runs through this gate every day. So that's kind of why we sort of pushed it, and it was a really good time for them to try and launch it at the conference, in front of the national audience.
Yeah, well, that probably answers my next question. That was about the inspiration and the formation of the task force and why it sort of come about. And
Yeah.
what role do you play, and what do you envision in it playing in shaping the industry in the future for gates?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's a bit more as to why we saw it come about, more of a personal reason why I wanted to do it. So I, like you, work in schools, and we see a lot of gates in schools, automatic gates, high-speed gates, things like that. And knowing what we know about safety as well as liability and things like that, we saw essentially high-speed guillotines on every school that are unregulated. And, the principals and the teachers and the asset managers trust us as professionals to put in something that's safe. And what I see almost every day is something that's not. So that really is what inspired it. Like, if we could make only any change, it would be to influence what schools do, because that's where obviously 5, 6-year-old, 7-year-old kids are walking through these gates. You can't teach them not to try and ride a moving gate. So that's really where it came from, and it was only in research for that we sort of found out that the exact same path has already been trodden in the UK. They had two tests in 2008 concurrent, very close together, and they had a big legislative change that happened after that. And 2018 to 2024, 2008 to 2024, 16 years down the line, they've now got really robust and good guidelines for what has to happen. And when I talk to my colleagues in the UK, they just look like we've got two heads. Like, why don't you have any of this stuff? Like, it's been around for 16 years. And so we're trying now. So, we can't profess to be inventing anything that's brand new. But all we're doing is trying to adapt what already exists and some common sense from overseas. And I think the US has some similar regulations as well.
Yeah, that's well, unfortunately, it takes a death to get things sort of moving in the right direction, and I can see the task force now, trying to get on that front foot so we can prevent something like that happening. I know in my local area, probably 18 years ago, there was a sliding gate failed, and whether it was poorly installed or whatever, the brackets let go right on pickup school pickup time, and a parent with a toddler. Toddler was crawling around playing on the gate, and the gate fell over and killed this little child. And that went on for a long time. You know, the effect it has on the immediate family is absolutely devastating. But then it has on the people who are around, the people who are at the school, the people who are installing. It shut the business down. For the bloke who did the actual install, I think he ended up having a heart attack and stress, and passed away not long after that. So there's a big, profound effect that we see happening, and like yourself, doing a lot of school fencing with kids involved. There's things happening all the time that are outside of our control. With kids climbing on things and everything else, trying to get them in safe avenues in and out of our work zones as well while we're actually working. But also the next step is having the correct procedures for installations by qualified installers that aren't trying to cut corners. Now, everything seems to be cost driven. And as soon as it's cost-driven, people are trying to cut corners to save dollars. And I have seen big 6 metre, 7 metre cantilever gates anchor screwed down onto a 100 mil slab. And you just think, well, and we've got photos to have a look at, and the whole cages, the whole wheels on the bottom are all flapping and running and flogging out the rails, and it's just a mess, and it's just an accident waiting to happen.
It is, you know, it's so scary to understand. Like the you know, I hate to paint a bleak picture, and every time I talk to people about it, I always seem like I feel like I'm scaremongering. But like, you know, I do really, really big gates, like in cantilever as well. We do, you know, 16 metre openings, and the gate's 25 metres long, weighs 3 tonnes. You know, if that falls on someone, like they're gone. You know what I mean? And they're not all that big. Like I said, it's schools and public areas, but there's also lots of these gates. People don't realise, like, you know, when you buy a car, you see it everywhere. When you do gates, you know, I look at them every time I drive past, and I was just driving through the city. Last week I was in there. I can see a job that I looked at a while ago. It's a 10 metre solid steel gate, you know, out the front of a bus stop, right in Chalmers Street in Surrey Hills. And that's an open bar gate, and the gate would weigh a couple of tonnes, and people are leaning against the fence, waiting for the bus. And that gate automatically opens and shuts, you know, by someone that can't even see the gate or even on a timer. So if something happens to that gate, like there's 10 people at that bus stop that are going to get skittled. And, you know, those are the people that you got to consider, not the people that go, well, you know, I've got a 5 metre opening in the back of my shed or something like that, or a driveway. You know, they're a little less risky for those people, but we can put something in place that says, well, this is what you do as a blanket rule at a bare minimum, then at least everyone's considered along the line as well, because at least a lot of the pushback that we feel is like, well, you know, well, there's no one near my gate, so why do I need to do this? Well, mine's not going to fall over, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah. Is that's it. The next question was, what are some of the key challenges and opportunities that the Gate Task Force has encountered since inception?
Definitely the challenge that we've got, again, because we're 16 years behind essentially what the UK's done. The challenge that we've got is it's two-pronged, right? Everyone's excited to do something good and do the right thing. So from an installation perspective, from yours, from mine, from a lot of our colleagues, we're all excited for it to be good and safe and have a guideline and some structure, because that means we're limiting our liability, you know, as business owners and installers, because we now go, well, we did the right thing. So we're excited about that. You know, the challenges that we all have is convincing the client to do it, because it's going to cost them more money. And, you know, I've had lots of conversations with people, and it's everything is price driven. I'll miss out on a $500,000 job for $5,000. And that job that I just missed out on had 10 gates on it. And each gate's probably going to get a couple of grand at least worth of safety extra over what it should be. So the job now got $20,000-$30,000 more expensive.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to lose out on $500,000 for $5,000, and then once I start putting in prices for extra safety, I'm not going to get any more work. So changing the perception of the end user, even at the upper end of the market, let alone the smaller residential fencing, I feel that there's going to be a huge challenge in that.
A fair bit of resistance.
Definitely. If these safety rules come in, I'm out of business. No one's going to spend. The safety devices cost more than the motor. Like, they're already struggling to pay the bills. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
So, and again, like, it's a big challenge. So the challenge that we've got, or the opportunity we've got as well, is educating people on what your opportunities are, or what your options are, for safety. It doesn't have to be all laser scanners and devices. You can just take some good common sense approaches to maybe gate design, and now you've got a safer gate. So in educating people around that, I think we've got a good opportunity, one, to limit our liability, give them a good solution, and we're not overcharging them, or we feel like we're overcharging them, hiking the price up by a couple of grand's worth of devices for every gate. So there is opportunity there to sort of change the mindset, because everyone's very rigid with the way they think. A gate, a 10-meter diplo gate, but a nylon block on my alley slider out the front or whatever. We're very set in stone. That's going to be the hard thing to change. Yeah, you want. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm on there as well. Yeah. It's hard, man. Technology. I think that